Literally everything is more expensive right now. You name it, not only gas, food, rent, it's all more expensive right now. What is the hedge against inflation? Stick around to find out. So real estate is that time-honored hedge against inflation. You can see back in the 70s, inflation was at 7%, appreciation was at 9%, and you can see throughout the years, minus the 2000s, real estate appreciation was higher than inflation. And last year, it was at 6.8%, and appreciation was, depending on where you were, but nationwide was 18%, and in Orange County it was even higher than that. So when we have inflation this high, you want to be in an asset that is outperforming an appreciation, and that is real estate. Rent prices are going up just like prices for everything else. And so what we see here on this graph is that rent increases greater than inflation in most years. So the blue line is core inflation rate and the green is the rental price appreciation. And in Orange County, the rental market right now is just as competitive, if not more so competitive than the purchase market. So wanting to keep renting or wanting to sell and maybe I'm going to go and rent instead is probably not the best idea, because with rent prices, they continue to go up. If you purchase and you have a fixed mortgage rate, your housing allowance is going to be set, minus homeowners insurance and taxes may fluctuate from time to time. But your principal and interest is going to stay the same. Whereas if you're renting, that's going to keep going up and up and up, and typically is higher than the rate of inflation. A lot of people are getting scared because interest rates have gone up in the last few months. And what we're seeing is, or what the experts are predicting, is that rates are going to be about 4% by the end of the year. Depending on your credit score and the loan program you're looking at, it may already be at 4%. But if you look at the historic numbers in this graph, you can see that 4% is not high. In the 2010, we were in that just over 4%. And every decade prior to, we were well above that 4% rate. So prices are going to continue to go up. Interest rates are going to go up. It's never going to be, you're never going to have a time cheaper to buy than right now. Here's what the experts are predicting as far as appreciation goes for over the next 4 years. Okay, the optimists are saying 62.5% is what they cumulatively see over the next 4 years. And then you have on the other end, 23.7 is what the pessimists are saying. And we know in Orange County, we jumped 20% in 1 year. So whether you're looking at the people who are pie in the sky or the doomsayers, you're still looking at 23% in cumulative appreciation over the next 4 years. So like I said, you're never going to have a cheaper time to purchase than right now. So if you're not in your forever home, now is the time. We're going to talk about foreclosure stuff next. So what about all of the people who are in forbearance? Are we going to see a wave of foreclosures coming? The simple answer is no. So you can see on this graph that in May of 2020, we were over 4.7 million families or homes that were in the forbearance program. We're now below a million at 780,000 or so families still in that forbearance program. Obviously, we don't want to see anybody within that program. And if you need help, you know someone who is struggling, please have them reach out to us. Okay, so of that 780,000 or so people who are still within the forbearance program, you can see how many people have exited. There's 18.2% of people who were initially part of the forbearance program that are still in trouble. And that's that 780,000 or so. Now, if you look at what the total number of foreclosures typically is, you can see that we are still well below the normal numbers. This next graph shows that there are 151,000 households that had some sort of foreclosure filing in 2021, meaning there was a notice of default. They haven't become an actual foreclosure yet. But even if you take that number of 151,000 and you add it to the 780 that are in the forbearance program right now, we still don't even get to 1 million, which is what we were at 2014, 2015. That's what like the normal numbers were looking like, right? On top of the fact that 90% of the people who are in that 780,000 forbearance people, 90% of them have at least 10% equity, meaning that they're going to be able to sell and not become an actual foreclosure. So we're just not going to see a wave of foreclosures like some of the doomsdayers are saying. Now we're looking at the actual number of foreclosures. So through Q3 of 2021, we had less than 30,000 foreclosures. And of course, that's because we had the foreclosure moratorium, right? But now we go back and we talked about what those numbers that we could possibly see coming with the foreclosure filings and the people who are still in forbearance. That number is still really, really low, right? And so if you look at this, normal is about just under 300,000 foreclosures per year, right? And we said that we have 151,000 filings that were filed last year, and we have 10% of so about another 78,000 people who could become foreclosures that are in that forbearance program. So even with those numbers, we're still under 200,000 in possible foreclosures, which in the market that we're in right now, that inventory would be so absorbed so quickly because we are so far behind in homes that are available for. So moral of the story is housing is the way to hedge against inflation, right? It's better than renting. Rents are typically higher than the rate of inflation. We are not going to see a wave of foreclosures coming to the market. So if you are thinking about buying, right now is the time to do it because it's not going to be this cheap to do it anytime soon. I know 4% seems high interest rates to people who have been looking over the last 2 years and saw rates dip under 3%. But trust me, 4% is still really, really low. And if you're going to buy, now is the time to do it. Give us a call. Let us set up a time to chat with you to make sure it does make sense for you, because doesn't make sense for everyone to buy and move right now. But let us help you. Let us sit down and go over all of the options with you and see if we can help. Thanks so much.